So you've decided you're moving to the South Sound area, and that's a good call because genuinely it's one of the best areas in Washington. But here's what nobody tells you. There isn't just like one city area in the South Sound. There's basically several different towns down here, and they're all within like 30 to 45 minutes of each other, and they could not be more different. And I watch people get this wrong all the time. They pick the city that looked good on Zillow, they move, and 6 months later, they realize they're in the wrong town for their actual lifestyle. It's the wrong commute, it's the wrong vibe, it's the wrong school district. They're paying for stuff they never use. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna walk you through Olympia, Lacey, Tumwater, Tacoma, Puyallup, and DuPont. These are all cities in the South Sound, and by the end, you'll know exactly which one is yours. So stick around to the end because I'm saving the one most people overlook for last, and it might be the best value of the entire bunch. Real quick, if we haven't met yet, my name's Kennon. I'm a realtor down here in the South Sound, but more than that, I'm from here. I grew up in Olympia, I own a bunch of coffee shops around this area, and I've logged more hours sitting in these places than I can count. So this isn't a list of stats you could have Googled. This is what I'd tell you if you were across the table from me having a coffee. I help people relocate here for a living. So if you've got questions by the end of this video, drop them in the comments or reach out to me directly, and I try to answer every single comment and answer every single question that I get. So let's get into this. Here's what I want you to think about when you're watching this video. As I go through each city, be honest with yourself about three things: your commute, your budget, and your lifestyle. Like, what do you actually want your Saturday to look like? Every one of these towns answers those differently, and I promise the right one's gonna jump out at you. Let's start with my favorite one, Olympia. It's the state capital. It's where I'm from. It's the cultural heart of the whole region. So if you want character, old buildings, a walkable downtown, a really cool farmer's market, live music, little independent restaurants and coffee shops, a waterfront, this is your town. It's got soul. It's got kind of old soul. It leans a little on the artsy side. It's a little progressive. It's kind of weird. And people here are proud of that. So who's Olympia for? It's for the person who wants to live somewhere with an actual identity. State workers, since a huge chunk of the jobs are government, and you can be at the Capitol campus in 10 minutes. So it's great for state workers. It's great for creatives. People who want a downtown they can actually walk on a Friday night. The trade-off with Olympia is the housing is a little bit older. So you're often buying some charm that comes with a little bit of a project list. Want a brand new build or something like a 3-car garage? Olympia proper probably isn't the place that you're gonna find that, but hang on because I've got the town for you coming up. Price-wise, Olympia sits middle to upper middle of this group depending on the neighborhood. You're paying for location, and Olympia proper, you're really paying for walkability and really charm of the area. It's a historical area. Right next door to Olympia, east of Olympia, is Lacey, and this I would consider to be a fairly practical choice. If Olympia's the artsy older sibling, Lacey's the dependable one with their life put together. And this is where a lot of families land. There's a lot of newer neighborhoods in this area, there's planned communities, everything feels close by. You have Costco, you have big shopping, you have restaurants, you have lots of parks and trails. Hawks Prairie up north has exploded with new housing. And here's the kicker. Right on the edge of Lacey is the Nisqually Wildlife Refuge. So there's thousands of acres of estuary and boardwalk trails, and genuinely one of the best spots in the whole South Sound. And half of Lacey forgets that that place even exists. So who is Lacey for? I would say that Lacey is for families wanting newer construction and good amenities without the Olympia premium. Olympia is gonna be a little bit more expensive than Lacey. Also, I would say Lacey is good for people relocating for a job who just want things to be easy or convenient. And if you're tied to JBLM, the base, Lacey's location is pretty tough to beat. It's about 20 to 25 minutes to the base, depending on which part of Lacey you're in. The trade-off with Lacey is it's more suburban and a little more built up. You're trading historic charm that you might find in Olympia for convenience and value. For a lot of folks, that's exactly what they're looking for. South of Olympia, you have Tumwater, and this is a really great area that a lot of people sleep on. You have Tumwater Falls right in the middle of town. You have a strong school reputation, and it feels a little more tucked away while still being 5 or 10 minutes from everything in Olympia. Now, here's the deeper local part most newcomers don't know. Tumwater is actually the oldest American settlement on Puget Sound, founded back in 1845, partly by George Bush, a black pioneer who couldn't legally own land in Oregon at the time, so his family settled Bush Prairie, which is still a neighborhood name here. And those falls, that's where Olympia beer was brewed. The water was a real slogan about that exact spring water. So there's really a lot of history in Tumwater. And if you're interested in Tumwater, I have an entire video on this channel called Living in Tumwater that you can check out. So who is Tumwater for? I would say that it's for families who prioritize school. It's for people who want a calmer pace but aren't ready for the actual country. It's maybe for first-time home buyers who sometimes can find a little more value in Tumwater. I think that Tumwater is a little bit understated, and I think that's part of the appeal. It's a city that doesn't really need to show off. Now, heading up north, because the next three are a whole different flavor. Let's start with Tacoma, the big city of the bunch. I would say that Tacoma really has that real city energy. You have a really expansive waterfront. You have museums, you have the Stadium District, you have the Old Town District, you have Proctor and North End, and there's a bunch of little districts in Tacoma. You have a pretty serious food scene. You have a real downtown. There's a couple different universities in town as well. So if the small town South Sound feels a little too sleepy for you, Tacoma's where you might have a better time. Over the years, Tacoma has had a real renaissance. You have the North End and Proctor, which are gorgeous, walkable, full of craftsman character areas. And a local fact that people love is that glass artist Dale Chihuly, who was a Tacoma kid, is the reason that we have the Museum of Glass and the Bridge of Glass downtown. And another fun fact about Tacoma is that castle-looking school, Stadium High School, that's the place that 10 Things I Hate About You was filmed. Something about Tacoma is you're gonna be way cheaper than Seattle, but it's still a pretty quick shot up I-5 or the Sounder train when you need it. So who's Tacoma for? I would say Tacoma is for people who want city amenities and culture and don't mind a faster pace, or maybe commuters that are splitting Olympia and Seattle jobs, or maybe buyers who want an older home but want to be close to city activity. The trade-off with Tacoma is it's an actual city. So you're gonna have a little more traffic, you're gonna have a little more density, and it changes block to block with the different districts that you have in Tacoma. A little east of Tacoma, you've got Puyallup. And first things first, it's pronounced Puyallup. So now you won't out yourself as a new person the second you say it. It's got its own personality, and the big thing about Puyallup is it's home of the Washington State Fair, which is a massive event around here. Do the Puyallup is a phrase people actually say, and what they're talking about is do the Puyallup Fair. It used to be called the Puyallup Fair, now it's called the Washington State Fair. I don't know why they changed the name. Puyallup has a really cute historic downtown area, and all throughout Puyallup, you're gonna have views of Rainier in the valley that will really surprise you. I think Puyallup has some of the most beautiful views of Mount Rainier. Here's a local fun fact for you. The name Puyallup comes from the Puyallup tribe, and that is translated as generous people. This whole valley used to be the daffodil capital, and they still throw a daffodil festival every spring. Puyallup pulls families wanting a small town feel with newer housing out in South Hill while still staying close to Tacoma jobs. So who's it for? I think it's for families who want space and community and are okay being a little bit further out. And I think it's for people working toward Tacoma or even Seattle who want a little bit more house for their budget. If your job is pulling you north, but your budget is pulling you out, I think Puyallup is kind of a sweet spot in the South Sound. And the one I saved for last, DuPont. I think this is an overlooked one, and I really think that's a mistake. DuPont is small, it's newer, it's a master plan city, and it's ridiculously convenient. If you've got any tie to JBLM, it's basically just right there. But here's the fact that gets me every time. This tiny little town has one of the wildest histories in the state. Fort Nisqually, one of the very first European settlements up here, started right in DuPont in the 1830s, and later the whole town was literally a company town for the DuPont explosives plant. They made dynamite in DuPont. Now there's a trail through the old ground down to a quiet Puget Sound beach that almost nobody outside DuPont knows about. So who's DuPont for? I think military families, hands down. I think DuPont is probably one of the best, if not the best city for people moving up here because of JBLM. I think it's also a great spot for anyone wanting a newer home in a calm, clean community while commuting the I-5 corridor between Olympia and Tacoma. DuPont is dead center between Olympia and Tacoma. It's north enough for Tacoma, but it's south enough for Olympia, and it's close enough to the base. The trade-off with DuPont is that it's kind of small. So if you want like nightlife or lots of dining or shopping options, it's probably not going to be the best choice for you, but for the right person, that's the whole point. Okay, let's bring it home. If you want character and a walkable downtown, Olympia is a great spot. If you want newer, practical, family-friendly, easy, Lacey's a great spot. Schools and a little peace and quiet, you should check out Tumwater. You want real city energy and a lot of activity, Tacoma's a great spot. Space, community, more house for your money up north, I would say Puyallup. Military or just clean and convenient right in the middle of it all, DuPont. Did any of these cities jump out at you? I bet one of them did. And here's the thing, picking the city is the easy part. The hard part is what's underneath. Which neighborhoods inside that town are gonna fit your budget? What are the schools actually like? What are the streets like? Where's the value? That's the stuff that's nearly impossible to figure out from thousands of miles away. So here's my offer, zero pressure, but if you're seriously thinking about a move down here, reach out, comment below, shoot me a message. My info's in the description. Tell me your situation. What are you looking for as far as a commute? What's your budget? What do you want your weekends to look like? Those three things, and I'll tell you straight up which one of these towns I'd point you toward and why. Even if you're a year out, even if you're just poking around, I'm happy to be your guy on the ground who gives you the actual information. Worst case, you get a real local's honest take. Best case, you find the town you didn't even know you were looking for. So if this video helped, do me a favor and like the video, and please subscribe to the channel. I make videos like this for every corner of the South Sound, and I've got neighborhood deep dives coming on each one of these cities.